At Truliant, we're with you at every milestone, making it easier for you to shine. So you can saddle up each morning for more than a paycheck. Have the support to expand your horizon, the space to grow your family, and your brightest dreams never have to fade. At Truliant, we help you shine. That's brighter banking. Truliant Federal Credit Union.
Welcome to the Greater Conversations podcast. I'm Deetra Miller, the Director of Member Relations and Engagement at Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. We'll use this platform to showcase our local businesses, our community, and their stories. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I am super excited because I've got two people at the mic with me today. Number one is our guest of honor today, Miss Stephanie Miles, who is the founder of Smith's Primary Care and Wellness. Can't wait to learn more about Stephanie and the reason that she started this business. And we also have co-hosting today, my friend, my buddy, Jody Edwards, our business support manager at Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. Thank you both for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, awesome. So, Stephanie, let's talk a little bit about why you started Smith's Primary Care and Wellness. We're going to go back and talk about your background, but first, this is so important, and what you're doing is so different from anything else that I have seen in healthcare in this area. So let's talk about that a little bit.
All right. So Smith's Primary Care and Wellness, it's a joint venture with me and my sister, Cherese Blue. So I'm a board-certified nurse practitioner, and I've always had the goal of opening up my own primary care practice. But when I started that journey of doing that in 2022, we're all used to the traditional primary care. Over 2,000 patients, takes you months to be seen, weeks to get a response. So I discovered direct primary care, which is different. It's membership based. It doesn't deal with insurance. Therefore, you are eliminating all the hurdles that come with insurance in big organizations. So when I found it, it's almost too good to be true, but it was a game changer. I'm like, so I can see patients and I can talk to them for 30 minutes, for an hour, as long or as short as I want, provide services to them that's affordable, and just have that one-on-one time. So once I discovered it, I jumped all in. And there was, as far as I know, there was no other direct primary care places in Winston.
Wow.
So the goal was to care for patients, to see the outcomes, because as a former ER nurse for like 9 years, you stabilize them and you send them on. You don't know what happens after that. So I wanted that care portion. And then, of course, with physical health, it's mental health, and they go hand in hand. So when my sister started school for her mental health counseling, I said, oh, yes, this is it. The Smith girls are taking over.
I love that. And you're taking away those barriers for people that may not, it's not that they don't want health insurance, but they may not be able to afford it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And Jody, you've had a background in medical yourself.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about why it excites you that Smith's Primary Care and Wellness is here.
It's exciting because there's so much bureaucracy in insurance that people that really need some services can't get them because insurance will deny it, or they won't pay, or they'll say, we don't want to pay for that medicine, you have to take this medicine, and it may not be the right choice. I think that should be between the provider and the patient, not some dude sitting at the insurance company making those decisions. So my sister had no insurance for a little while, and when we saw your business come up and started reading, I was like, oh, this would be perfect for someone like her who can do the monthly, but it includes all the labs, correct? Mm-hmm. And you get seen, you get your prescriptions, and even if you do have insurance, that can cover the stuff that Stephanie doesn't do. So it was exciting for me because that I did pre-certifications for MRIs and CT scans for doctor's office, and I dealt with a lot of insurance, and they're so frustrating. It's so frustrating trying to get what you need for your patient, and I think having somebody that has that you have access to, and even if your insurance wants to deny it, she'll be able to get that approved for you, and I don't know. The whole thing was very exciting. I think it is a huge thing to have here for patients who just need that care.
I love that. I love that. And Stephanie, I would imagine that there are people that if they're able to access that primary care, it may help them down the line avoid possible, complications with their health, right? That they may not need insurance for necessarily if they have the primary care and somebody's taking care of them on a consistent basis.
Right.
So talk a little bit about what you have seen and how you're helping with that.
Right. So we live in a society that is not as trusting of medical providers, point blank, period. Everyone is moving to a holistic and alternative and a functional side. They don't trust Western medicine as much. So I'm able to meet people where they are and kind of treat you how you want to be treated. So if you are against Western medicine, you're not going to do it, because I have those patients that sit down and tell me, you might as well not do my labs because I'm not going to take anything that you say I need. And I'm like,
wow,
okay. But they're honest, but healthy in their own way, doing vitamins, herbs, supplements. So I'm not against it. So if we're going the holistic route, okay, let's try it out. Let's try these vitamins. Let's try these supplements. Let's see what it do. If we need to go the Western medicine route and we do need to treat this cholesterol, then we'll talk about that too. We'll try vitamins. We'll try the statins that people don't like to try if we need to. So I think it's important, because with everyone taking their own health into, accountable for their own health, which I think is a good thing. You shouldn't just say yes just because a physician or a nurse practitioner or a PA or whoever suggested. Do your own research. So this is allowing people that freedom so they're comfortable. When they walk in, I purposely do not have an office that feels like a doctor's office.
Yes.
Nobody likes going to the doctor. They dread it. They don't want bad news. So when you walk in, it's positive vibes. It's fun. Who knows what I'm doing when you walk in? Having a good time. Whatever.
Balloons and glitter.
Whatever conversations may be happening. But they've come in feeling like they're visiting their friend. And I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Because in the end, are you having a good time and are you comfortable? Yes. But at the same time, am I taking care of you?
Yes.
Are we on top of things? Are you more receptive to what I'm saying? Of how your labs are looking, or hey, we're getting close to being diabetic. Let's limit those carbs and those sugars. It makes the conversation easy, and no weight shaming. Every time people go to the doctor, they're like, oh, they talk about my weight. You don't talk about your weight, I'm not going to talk about your weight.
Okay. Okay.
And that goes a long way, and it makes people enjoy. I've had one of my patients, her husband was like, you have never been excited about going to the doctor, and you smiling, sitting here texting her. What is this about? So even their spouses are noticing the change in how they feel about themselves and their health. And that's invaluable.
That is invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you talk about how people feel, you mentioned your sister's part in Smith's Primary Care and Wellness.
Yes.
Talk about the mental health part and why you decided to bring that into this.
So both is needed. I think, especially in our community, even when you go back all the way, because of course I grew up in church, my daddy was a preacher, so everything is take it to God, and we will, but you need that mental health portion too. Ever since COVID occurred and people have lost so many people, young and old, it's taking a toll on the society as a whole and our mental health. We're living in a day and age where depression is and anxiety is in children on up. And so when you look at that, everyone always has focus on your physical health, but the mental health is such a big piece. And they do go hand in hand, because your mental can affect your physical.
That's right.
And your physical can affect your mental. So why not? Let's kind of treat you holistically, and we're going to handle both. so that way you can be the best you. So sometimes, most places, you gotta find a therapist, you gotta find a primary care practitioner, you gotta find this person, that person. One-stop shop when you come to Smith's Primary Care and Wellness. You're gonna see me for your physical. You can go upstairs in the future new location and see my sister for the
awesome.
see Cherese for the mental. So we're going to handle everything so that you are the best you.
And the mental part is included in the membership?
It's separate. Now, my members will have a discounted rate on their pricing, but Cherese is actually going to take insurance and self-pay. I'm just, it's self-pay membership only. I won't take insurance.
Okay.
But she will actually offer both services. Y'all will have to wait till she gets credentialed with all the insurances and all that.
Okay.
But she will have both, so that your people can use their insurance or they can do self-pay, whatever works best for you.
Perfect.
The mental health piece, I think, is very important for, because they'll say, you get anxiety and then your stomach hurts, or you can work yourself into an ulcer because you've gotten so upset about something. So I very much like the fact that you can do both there. And people are taking mental health more seriously now. Like when we were growing up, you didn't talk about your mental health. If you
went to a counselor, you kept your mouth shut
Yeah.
because people think, oh, he's crazy.
there's something wrong with this person. And
And I think everybody needs to talk about some stuff all the time.
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So I think it's a very important piece. So, and it's even more fun that you get to do it with your sister. That's super cool.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I love that. Now, let's talk about, you mentioned a new location. Talk about where you are now and why you've decided to move to a new location.
Gotcha. So currently we are off of Silas Creek Parkway, right in between Forsyth Tech and state employees. And we're in the back of it's the brick condo suites in 6B. So the new location is right up it's in the front of the building.
Okay.
we're not going nowhere.
Okay.
But in the front. For one, you have that street visibility. So when the people are riding down Silas Creek, you're going to be able to see the businesses from the street. Two, when I get excited, I talk loud, and so does my sister. And in our current location, our offices would be right beside each other, which is not good when I got a patient and she has a client,
Right.
talking about mental health services and things. So in the suite 8A is the one we are in contract with right now. So it has a whole upstairs section. So we're going to do a whole renovation. Of course, have it look really nice. Not a big lobby because we don't want anybody waiting. The
Right.
goal is not to come in and sit in the waiting room. The goal is to come in and start your visit.
Wow.
That's kind of how we do things, which is also different from the traditional practices.
Yeah.
But you'll go upstairs and just have nice, relaxed couches, blues and greens, because those are the calming, colors and things. So we have big plans. We are hoping. Right now, there's a closing date for January 1.
Okay.
But we're waiting. So we're hoping definitely in the new year, the beginning of the new year, that we'll be owning Suite 8A.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's exciting. Oh my goodness. Okay. So people will be able to easily see you from their travels up and down
Yes.
Silas Creek. Easy access, larger space,
More room.
inviting space. I love the fact that, you don't want people waiting.
No.
And speaking of that, you touched on something earlier as well. The lady that was excited and her husband was like, you're never excited about going to the doctor.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned that she was able to get in touch with you in a different kind of way. Talk about that.
Yes. So that is the beauty of direct primary care. So the reason why I'm able to have 30 minutes to 1 hour or however long appointments is because I'll have a panel size, so of a maximum. So the traditional primary care provider has over 2,000 patients. My cap is 4 to to 500. That's going to guarantee that same day or next day appointment, and that's going to guarantee that direct access. For the most part, and I'm like at 140 right now, patients. But for the most part, my patients text me. Now, it feels like they're just on their phone texting me, but all of it is actually tied to their chart. So as we're just chit-chatting away, answering a question via text, it's all being documented in their chart.
Oh, that's
which is
awesome.
awesome, and of course saves me time. But it's just, it goes to that personal relationship that we have been able to develop. And the reason why it is a cap of 400 to 500, because of course I can't have 2,000 patients and all of them having that direct access and, being able to come same day or next day as they are now. So that just kind of keeps it very intimate. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons the majority of my patients have insurance. They sign up for the convenience of knowing when I need her, I have her.
Yes.
Example, one of them was just in the emergency room and was a little uneasy about being discharged or whatnot. But as soon as they said that, she was like, let me text Stephanie real quick. And so me and her are conversing. And I was like, you know what? It's not a bad idea. I think you should go home and rest. I think you should be discharged. But it was just that peace of mind that she had. And she's doing amazing. Like, I was right. And she's doing amazing. But it was that peace of mind that she had when she's in an environment, she's by herself, she's uncertain, she don't understand the medical lingo. I was able to log in and see for myself what was going on.
Wow.
Because I do have access to the big organizations charting, because I do referrals and things to them, and I order like imaging studies through the two big organizations here. So I'm able to log in and I could see everything. I could see her results. I could see her labs, and I could review it myself. And I said, no, you're good. You're okay. You don't need to stay. Go ahead and let them discharge you. They are right.
Awesome is that?
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. You said something a little startling earlier. Most primary care physicians have 2,000 patients.
Over 2,000. Yes. Per
How does-
person.
Per person.
Per provider. Yes.
Per
not just the
provider.
office. Yeah.
Talk about how that could potentially affect the patient.
Right. So that's why people get frustrated. It's not the physicians or the providers just not wanting to get to you, right? Or they're not wanting to keep you in there for hours and hours. They really don't have much of a choice when they have this panel of 2,000 patients. They have 15 minutes to see you. So therefore, they can't afford to spend more time with you like I can, because they have to, at the end of the day, it is a business too. For the big organizations, even though, well, we won't go there. But yes. So that is why it takes so long. And then they're dealing with insurance. So they have all these different criteria and metrics and things they have to meet. They have to discuss this. They have to check off this. They have to order this with these different metrics. So all that goes into, why healthcare is like it is. But that also goes into why, maybe not here in Winston yet, but it's definitely coming, but why other places, why providers and physicians are moving into this concierge and this direct primary care way of things. It's not popular here yet, but it definitely will be, because the physicians and the providers are getting burnt out, because they don't have a choice. 15 minutes is 15 minutes. They got to churn and burn. They're seeing 20, 30 patients a day. So that's why it takes so long to be seen. That's why it's months and months and months before you can get an appointment. No, it's not done on purpose. They don't have a choice. It's just the way it goes.
It kind of makes you question how good can they be when you're overextended like that.
Right.
I can tell you that the doctor's office that I worked in, we did have, the older physicians would keep their patients to 30 minutes. But the newer physicians were coming in, and they were every 15 minutes, and they had at least 30 to 40 people on their schedules every day. Every day. And the problem with that is you also have to have time to chart, because we were saying before, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. So the doctors have to get in and chart. They have to do all these things to make sure that visit can be filed with insurance, and then things get missed. So if they order a CT scan, if I couldn't get it approved right away, I'd have to call the doctor to get more information or to have the doctor call. And sometimes they didn't have time. And so then the CT scan would get denied and then we'd have to do an appeal. And so the doctors that did not move to the 15-minute slots, they had more time with their patients. Now, we had one doctor that he would sit and talk to you as long as it took. But he would have 3 and 4 waiting in the waiting room because, and I would tell him, I'm like, I'm sorry you waited, but when you get in there, you'll be glad because he'll give you the same care, But it's commercial insurance. They run a lot and make a lot of the decisions for the doctors, which I don't think is and I don't think that's safety practice. I think that having somebody that can advocate for you without having to rely on insurance telling you it's okay or not is an awesome thing.
This is a crazy question, and maybe you can answer this for me, Stephanie, but to Jody's point about insurance making decisions for the providers, how many people that you've dealt with on the insurance side previously before you started Smith's actually had experience in the medical field to know what you guys were going through?
I think the majority of the population don't know all the ins and outs of, what it takes as far as an office visit and, insurance and billing and all of that. I do have a handful of patients that are, of course, in the healthcare field. So they understand. And some of them are, nurse practitioners and PAs. And so they do understand. But for the most part, it's not really public knowledge. I mean, if you're not in the field, you don't know. And that leads to the anger that people have and present because they're like, why can't I get a response and all that? They're not ignoring you. It's just difficult. And everything works. It works hand in hand. The big organizations, the pharmaceutical companies, the insurance, they're all a team. They work together. So you kind of gotta they have to follow all the stipulations and the rules to make things happen. That's the way healthcare is today. It's the way it works.
Yeah. So that's why you're probably so excited about not being in that space, but being in this space, right?
Yes. That's why I said it's a game changer. People, if you sit and listen to the benefits of direct primary care and how it truly works, then because people will hear, oh, she don't take insurance, I can't go. No, come on, you can't come. Yes. Come to me, because if you have insurance, we work with it. Like I said, if I need to order an X-ray, the outpatient radiology of Atrium, they love me. They know my name. They come and visit me because I do send my patients there. So in a sense, I do still work, of course, with the organizations here, but I don't have to do that with the primary care part. 70-80% of your care is the regular stuff, right? Your sick visits. It's cold and flu season going on right now. It's the regular things. I mean, that's what you have me for. That's what your membership is paying for. So let's use the big organizations and your insurance and the hospitals and all that for the emergent situations, for the critical things, for the specialty things, for your heart and, certain things like that where you need those cardiologists or endocrinologists. That's where the insurance will really come into play. But for your average, hey, I'm sick, I got a UTI, my back hurt, for those things, can you check my labs? Can you do my physical? Can you do my pap smear? Come on in. Let's get it done. That's what I'm here for, the primary care, those things.
I love that. You also mentioned earlier there are folks that come into your practice that are definitely against Western medicine.
Yes.
They're more into the holistic, alternative things. So do you partner with other folks that specialize in vitamins and holistic?
Well, I do vitamins myself.
There you go. Let's talk about that.
So that's honestly where I meet a lot of the alternative and holistic people. Another business I have is IV hydration, IV vitamin hydration. So that's where I meet a lot of the folks that come in. And so I call them my drip clients. Drip clients become patients. Patients become drip clients. And that is just, hydrating them and providing vitamins, magnesium, calcium, vitamin C, zinc, all kind of things to help for a variety of things. So that's one end. I've been trying forever, y'all, but I am trying to dabble into some functional medicine and just kind of learn, because you don't learn that in school. So I'm having to teach myself those herbs and supplements and vitamins and resetting the gut. Like, it's a whole nother world out there when it comes to functional medicine, and it's a lot of information. So I am in the process of trying to get some of that knowledge as well, so that I can implement some of those things with my patients, and definitely my alternative and holistic. But as such, that goes so deep, you got to make sure you don't go down the rabbit hole of functional medicine. But what I've learned thus far is everything starts in the gut. If you fix the gut, you fix everything else. So that's the main thing, resetting that gut, eliminating those processed foods, those sugars, the things we all love and want all the time.
I think the rule is, if it tastes good, spit it out.
Pretty much. That's another side of functional medicine. Everyone is wanting to be alternative and holistic. However, are you willing to put in the work? Because you really do have to change. It's lifestyle changes. And you know how it is. Just like the new year, everybody's going on a diet for the new year.
Of course.
How many months or how many weeks go by and that diet's out the window. Same thing with this whole resetting the gut and functional medicine and lifestyle changes. It sounds good, but it's discipline. It takes hard work and dedication. If you're not going to be serious about it, then you're going to end up the same way with the same issues. So it's really on the person if they're really, truly serious about changing their lifestyle.
Wow.
So I've been to the IV part. It was a very neat experience. I didn't sit in the massage chair, and I wish I had. I didn't know it was there.
On the end, chairs on the end, y'all.
I know now. But my husband did one and got the full, I can't remember the goat. The goat. And he felt good for weeks afterwards. And he works out in the sun, and so it was really hot when we went in. And they started mine first, and his finished first because he was so dehydrated that it just soaked it right in. And but we've been trying to get back. We just haven't had time yet. But I would definitely recommend it at least once if you've not ever done it, because it's really neat. It's really neat. Experience.
And it's always going to be in the same location. So the primary care and the IV, all in the same place. So if you're coming for one, you can always, have access to the other.
So you can have your IV, your primary care, and your mental health all in one location.
Stop shop.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yes.
Well, Stephanie, is there anything that we didn't touch on today that you would love everyone listening to know?
We hit a lot of things.
Yeah, we did.
I guess just the main thing is, take your health into your hands. Do your own research. If you don't feel right, if something's wrong, keep pushing the issue. Know that you can have me as your provider. You can keep your regular provider too. You can have both of us.
Yes.
If you want to. But don't knock it just because we don't take insurance. It costs $65 a month, $75 a month, or $85 a month. It's based on age. As you age, it goes up. But, that can be determined too, because like the example I gave y'all of the lady who's not going to do any Western, she's like 78 and no health problems. And I told her, I said, I don't want to take your money, because I knew she wasn't going to use me, because she doesn't do anything traditional. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do for you? And she told me, honestly, it's peace of mind knowing that if something comes up, I have you. And she paid the whole year Then you get
Wow.
10% off if you pay a year in advance. But I didn't charge her $85 based on her age because she don't have any health issues that we
Yeah.
know of. So, of course she had a discounted rate and then plus the 10% discount. But definitely go on the website, www.smithspcw.com. Just read. I know people, we live in a society that don't read. But just read kind of what the website says. You can always email me. You can always call. We are always ready and willing to answer any of your questions. It is not a contract. You give me a 30-day notice and you can end your membership. That is fine. We only just ask that you at least do 3 months so you don't use me and leave me. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think y'all will. I brought it to Winston.
Yes, you are a trailblazer.
And I think you're going to see a lot more coming in the future.
That's awesome. You mentioned your email address, so what is that?
smithspcw@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Google. You can find us all those places. TikTok too. We're on there as well.
Oh,
So
you gotta see that.
I do like to dance, you guys. You might see a dancing video, or you might come in for your birthday and get a dance. You just never know.
There you go, the dancing provider. I love
to
it.
dance.
Well, I'm coming in on Monday then. That's my birthday.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Thank
But
you.
no, we do like to have a good time. And that's the thing about me. I will laugh with you, dance with you, cry with you. Love to dance, but I'm also a crybaby. So you get the crying, and I'm going to cry with you. But, I'll always be a listening ear. You got a shoulder to lean on. We'll cry together, and we'll keep on moving.
I love that. I love that. And you mentioned the phone number they can also call.
Yes, 336-999-7009. That is the office number. And when you enroll as my patient, you get a special number that's direct access. That's the one you'll text and, have the direct access to me.
I love it. I love it so much. We didn't talk anything about your background at all. And I hate to wrap up
Second meeting.
Well, yeah. Just real quick, though. Just a little bit about your background.
Okay.
60 seconds, go.
Oh, gosh.
Just kidding.
Board certified nurse practitioner, a background in emergency nursing first, and then I went to primary care when I got my MP. I went to Carver High School. Shout out to the Yellow Jackets. Graduated in 2006. Went to Winston-Salem State. Go Rams for my nursing degree.
Yes.
And then Walden University online for my MP degree. I am born and raised in Winston-Salem. This is home. I love it. This is the support. This is love.
Yes. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Jody,
You told me to cut it short. I had to cut it short.
You did it. You did it. Jody, any final questions or words?
I don't think so. Very happy Winston native. I'm also Winston native, so it's nice to see people stick around here and then bring back to the community.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
And that's exactly what you're doing, Stephanie, along with your sister.
Yes.
So again, thank you so much for being here. For everyone listening, please check out Smith's Primary Care and Wellness, and we will see you again next time. We know you enjoyed this podcast today, so join us for the next episode of Greater Conversations. By the way, you can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Be sure to smash that subscribe button. Also, be sure to visit our website at winstonsalem.com. The views and opinions stated in this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our sponsors, distributors, or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. or your toast.